Hey, do you want your Minecraft videos to look like this? Instead of this? Then keep watching this video, because I'm gonna explain how all these Minecraft YouTubers have been doing it. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Inertia. Today I felt not only in the mood to record, but I also wanted to make something more on the informative end. Since there's a lot of different guides on YouTube that say different things and don't address certain problems, I wanted to make a video that'll teach you guys how to record Minecraft videos at a high frame rate like some other popular YouTubers do. You can use this for any game really, as long as your computer can handle it. I even use this trick on Roblox videos. It's just a really nice touch that you can add to your videos to make them seem just the tiniest bit more satisfying to watch. Before we start this video, since I know I'm gonna get questions, make sure to watch it in its entirety to make sure you get all of the settings right, and comment down below if you still need any tech support after. I'll do my best to answer most questions you guys have, and even if you don't have any questions, feel free to comment something nice, and subscribe. Okay, sorry if things look and sound different. I'm actually using a different recording software so that I can walk you through my settings. Firstly, you need to be using the right recording software. To record my videos, I use OBS. It's straightforward, it can be customized, and produces high quality footage. You can download OBS through the link in the description below. So to start things off, you'll want to change your recording settings. Head over to File in the top left corner, and go to Settings. It'll bring you to this general page, but you can actually ignore this stuff. In fact, these two tabs, General and Stream, they don't really matter. You'll want to go straight to Output. In Output, you don't have to worry about the streaming section since we're not streaming, we're recording. We're mainly looking for settings related to video recording. Because of this, you'll want to ignore the streaming section because that's not really relevant. You just want to check out the recording section here. You'll want to designate a folder that OBS will save all of your recording files to. Don't mind that my main recordings folder is just called New Folder. My life is a mess. Just make sure you have a lot of space on this folder that this drive is located in, because in my experience, about one gaming of footage in 240 FPS is approximately 1.3 gigs of storage. I'm not sure, that's just what I usually get. Also, that is quite large for 1 minute of footage. Next, I like to have my recording quality set to high quality, medium file size. The quality is great even compared to the lossless format down here, and the only difference between the two was it's probably going to get washed away by YouTube's awful video compression anyways, so it doesn't really matter. And you'll want to keep the file size relatively minimal because 1 GB per minute is an awful lot. Then for recording format, I would recommend choosing MP4. As a video editor myself, I've played around with these quite a bit, and I've noticed that there are negligible differences between these, and that MP4 is generally compatible with everything. You can drag and drop it into editing software and it will most likely work without a hitch, so that's why I recommend using MP4 over these other options. Next is the encoder. This is where you guys might have some differences. So, X264 encoder is the default one, and it utilizes your computer's CPU to handle the recording work. But there are other encoders such as NVENC, which actually use your computer's GPU to handle the rendering work. Because of this, there's going to be differences in what I see and what you see on this drop-down menu. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, such as one with like GTX or RTX branding, you'll want to choose the NVENC encoder, just like me. NVENC is very renowned for having great performance in both recording and streaming with the most minimal performance hit to your GPU. But if you own an AMD graphics card, such as one with an RX or XT branding, it's a bit more complicated. You have a couple of options here. You can either just use the default X264 encoder and take the hit on your CPU, or you can download this AMD encoder. Link is in the description below. You just gotta follow the directions on the website and relaunch your OBS and it should work. Although AMD graphics cards are great, I'd say that the video encoding is where they are falling behind the most in terms of usability compared to NVIDIA. Depending on which GPU you have, you might want to ditch the idea altogether and just use the X264 encoder. From what I've heard, generally the performance using the AMD encoder is better than X264, but the video quality is worse, so you'll have to decide for yourself. At the end of the day, the default encoder isn't so bad, so that's fine. Next, you'll want to move to the audio tab. This stuff's pretty simple. You'll just want to set your desktop audio to whatever speakers or headphones you use, and then the mic/auxiliary audio to whatever microphone you use to record. The rest of the stuff is pretty pointless, you can use whatever you want. Then, in the video section, this is very important. This is like the entire point of the video. You'll want to change your resolution to whatever resolution you want to record at. Mine's 1080p, and then the output resolution should usually be the same. I don't know why it wouldn't be. There's not a lot of cases where you don't use the same resolution here. I think 1080p works fine for Minecraft videos, and my graphics card runs it very well, but you can use whatever your computer can handle. For the downscale filter, I recommend using bicubic 16 samples. You might be wondering, why do you use the one with 16 samples when you could just use the one with 36 samples down here, the Lanzos? This is actually because OBS's implementation of Lanzos has the tendency to add artifacts to your video as a result of over-sharpening, if it's like video game footage. It'll look good with real-life footage, but if you're recording like Minecraft video game blocky footage, I recommend just using bicubic. And don't use a setting lower than this because the differences are insanely small in terms of performance. The lower ones are for very old potato computers that probably shouldn't be recording in the first place. Next is the fun part. This is important. So this is where you'll set the frame rate for your video. This is what like the entire video is about. Since the common FPS values only go up to 60, you gotta go to the drop down menu and select fractional FPS value. Make sure that the denominator is always set to 1, and set the numerator to any frame rate that you want to record at. For Minecraft videos, I personally use 240 FPS since I think it's a good sweet spot where the video looks buttery smooth while being easy to record on my computer. If you want to record with these kind of settings, I recommend having at least a quad-core CPU with a GPU that's at least has equivalent raster to a GTX 1070 Ti. Personally, I use a Ryzen 7 2700 with an RTX 2070 to record, and it performs great. You can set this to any theoretical value that your computer can handle. I suggest recording in multiples of 60 since anything more or less than a multiple of 60 will result in a loss of frames during the resampling process, which is super important. You don't want to lose frames. Here's a comparison of some various high FPS values, and you can use this to decide for yourself based on what your computer can handle. Now that we're done with that, we can head over to the Advanced tab. For process priority, you can just set this to normal. For video, these are my color settings. You can copy these. I don't notice much of a difference between all these options, and as far as I understand, you can fix any issues you have with color during the editing stage of your video, and it'll be fine. These are just what I've found online to be the best for recording Minecraft specifically. Then you can just hit apply and we're done with the settings. Oh, and hit OK. You can start recording your footage and it'll be on a crispy high frame rate. But we're not totally done yet. If you want to actually use this high frame rate footage in a video and edit it, you'll have to use an editing software that has access to a frame blending feature. I personally use Vegas, which comes with a smart resample blending. This will give you the smooth motion blur that you see in a lot of popular Minecraft PvP videos. In order to achieve that, do this before editing your video. Changing the frame rate has the potential to mess up your keyframes, and it's happened to me before. First, you'll want to head up to the top left of your preview window, click the gear icon, and then this will open your project properties. Change the frame rate to 59.94 in the drop-down menu. This is basically 60. You can set this resolution to whatever you want. I just kept mine at 1080p since that's what I recorded it in, and I don't care about upscaling. Next, you'll want to go down to full resolution rendering quality and set it to best. Then, set your resample mode to smart resample. I believe this is the default setting, but if it isn't already on, make sure it is. Then click apply and OK. Now, to render the video out, you'll want to go to the top left of your Vegas, File, Render As, and scroll down these file formats until you find Sony AVC/MVC. You can select the Internet 1920 by 1080 30p template and click Customize Template. This preset uses 30 FPS. You'll actually want to change this to 59.94, 60 FPS like before, so that your video can be, 60 FPS. Keep the resolution at whatever you want. I edited it in 1080p, I'll just keep it 1080p. If your frame size is different from what your project setting is, then it's going to mess up a lot of effects, so keep this at what your project setting is. Then for the bitrate, set this to the highest, go to audio, set the audio bitrate to 320 kHz, then you'll want to go to projects, set video rendering quality to best, and then hit OK. You can save this as a template if you want, and then just hit render. And that's all you need to do. You're actually done now. If it isn't working for you, please comment your concerns down below, and I'll do my best to check it out and reply a possible solution. I hope this video helped you guys. If you found this helpful, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. I plan to make more funny videos as well as informative ones like this, so make sure to stay tuned by hitting the bell icon next to my channel. And I'll see you guys next time.